financial terrorists want global currency, global central bank. During a recent speech at a conference of elitists in Zurich, Switzerland, IMF chief Dominique Strauss-Kahn called for the introduction of a global currency backed by a global central bank, which would act as the leader of last resort in the event of a severe economic crisis, which would represent another lurch towards fascist centralization of power by financial terrorists, busy exploiting the fiscal chaos they created in order to impose world government. Starting that crisis is an opportunity. Strauss-Kahn said that globalists should exploit the financial chaos plaguing the world in order to push for a new global currency issued by a global central bank. Strauss-Kahn said that this global currency will represent a risk-free asset for the system independent of national currencies, and that a global central bank could also serve as a lender of last resort. The IMF chief is basically arguing for an expanded model of a system that is habitually used to swallow up and turn entire countries into debt slaves to the IMF. Of course, the fact that global economic governance has proven to be fraught with instability in light of the euro crisis, with concerns about the single currency's survival spreading like a virus as a result of the Greece disaster, is irrelevant to globalists who are still trying to pose as the saviors with their solution of more centralization of power and more global governance, despite the fact that this is what caused the problem in the first place. As we have previously highlighted, globalists are intent on exploiting the financial crisis to set up a bank of the world that will be used to further centralize financial regulatory power and control over national economies for the administrative convenience of central bankers. In April 2009, Washington Post reported on plans to turn the IMF into a veritable United Nations for the global economy, giving it vastly expanded authority to act as a global banker to governments rich and poor. While there is no question about the agenda to implement a Bank of the World, elitists are still infighting about precisely which institution will run the show. During a speech to the Council on Foreign Relations last month, European Central Bank head Jean-Claude Trichet called for the Bank for International Settlements to be used as the de facto global bank. As we highlighted, the BIS is a notoriously corrupt institution that was founded and run by top Nazis in league with British and American industrial during and after the Second World War. Power brokers who controlled the BIS included men such as Herman Schmitz, the director of IG Farben, whose subsidiary company manufactured Zyklon B, the pesticide used in Nazi concentration camp gas chambers to kill Jews and political dissidents during the Holocaust. Another director of the bank was Walter Funk, who was appointed Nazi propaganda minister in 1933 before going on to become Hitler's Minister for Economic Affairs. Another BIS director during this period was Emil Pohl, who as director and vice president of Germany's Reichsbank was responsible for moving Nazi gold, but Funk and Pohl were convicted at the Nuremberg trials as war criminals. Despite the fact that the BIS was also run by American and British industrialists and bankers, according to author Charles Hyam, the bank became a money funnel for American and British funds to flow into Hitler's coffers and to help Hitler build up his war machine. Today, the BIS is headed by the world's central banker, people like Federal Reserve Chief Ben Bernanke and Bank of England head Mervyn King, as well as Trichet himself. There's no doubt that the elite are pushing for a global central bank and a global currency. The only issue in their eyes is whether this bank will be controlled by the predatory IMF or the Nazi-founded corrupt BIS, which in either case would represent another dangerous lurk towards authoritarian world government run by financial terrorists who have feverishly set about exploiting the financial crisis their policies created in order to lock in global economic fascism.